hope that you're having an awesome day today. Thank you for giving me a little bit of your time to see about another Beast Mode panning look as we finish off the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. So it's kind of going to be a similar take. Again, another focus on Amaretto. So if you're interested in seeing the previous Beast Mode panning look that I came up with to use the majority of the shades in the Chocolate Bar palette, go on and check the description box above. Really, that look focused around if you're using salted caramel, black forest truffle, amaretto, and marzipan. So it's a really good way to make some big progress on your Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette if you want to. This look, I really wanted to go with the last little bit of berry tones that I have left. So I'm focusing in on Strawberry Bonbon, Amaretto, Cherry Cordial, and I've got a little bit of Gilded Ganache left. And if I had Champagne Truffle, that would be a really beautiful highlight with this look. So if you want to see how I put this together, go on and keep watching. It is a very everyday appropriate look. I love a good bold lip, especially since we're in holiday season with Christmas coming up. So the lip that I have on today is the MAC lip liner in the shade Nightingale, along with the Bite Beauty and Mousse Bouche lipstick in the shade Beetroot. Really, really similar to MAC's Rebel if you're wanting a good comparison. Or if you have the e.l.f. matte lip crayon in Mulberry Maven or Berry Sorbet. Those are two other options that I really enjoy wearing with this look. So like I said, very kind of holiday appropriate if you don't like bold lips or you don't want to necessarily wear a bold lip during the day. This is a look that you can take in a lot of different directions. You can wear My Lips But Better, you can wear a gloss, you can wear a nude, and still have it look really, really flattering for your skin tone and really, really lovely and festive for the current season. So, but other than that, I really love it with a bold berry lip. So the other thing I do want to talk about that you don't necessarily have to do for this Get Ready With Me, but if you have the LORAC Mega Pro palette, I would go on and bring it out for the shade Lilac. I use that because that shade is kind of on its own, like it doesn't have a lot of pigmentation for me, but I really love it to give a soft glow behind these berry tone shades. You'll see what I mean as we put this together. So if you don't have the LORAC Mega Pro palette, there are some other alternatives I'll talk about in just a minute. So if you're wanting to shop your stash for some other palettes or use your single shadows or whatnot, go on and check the description box below. I'm going to list kind of the shades I'm reaching for out of my collection and some suggestions if you are wanting alternatives or to use some other things in your collection to get the same effects. So let's do this. Let's get into it. The first thing that I did was I followed through with my current eye primer. I'm using the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. Feel free to use whatever eyeshadow primer you love from your collection. And then what I'm doing with my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette is I'm going through with the shade Strawberry Bonbon on a fluffy shadow brush. This one happens to be from e.l.f. and I'm setting my entire eye area. In my experience, I really don't have a lot of pigmentation with that Strawberry Bonbon shade. I know many have been successful building it up on their lids or using it as a highlight shade, but I don't have time for that. It takes way too much effort with my particular shadows, so I found that I like it best in a sheer wash of color because, like I said, I'm going for kind of a glow a little bit under all of these deeper shades with Amaretto and Cherry Cordial in particular on top. So just follow through, dust it very gently over your entire eyelid area, and then I'm not going to use any additional cream shadows. I'm going through because I figured out how to make Amaretto work for me. So I'm taking Amaretto on this e.l.f. flat C brush. This is what it looks like, and I'm dusting it, or well, patting it all over my eyelid area. If you've had questions about how to get as much pigmentation as I do off your Amaretto shades, what I did this also works with Gilded Ganache and Candied Violet and even Black Forest Truffle if you're having a little bit of trouble with that shadow, because some of those admittedly can be duds until you kind of get through that initial layer. So if you're experiencing some trouble, I know I did with Amaretto, scrape off that initial layer to get to some of the softer shadow underneath. That will help you have some better payoff. And then the other thing that I did too is once I hit a pretty substantial amount of pan in Amaretto and Gilded Ganache, this also worked for that, I went through and I repressed both of those shadows, and that really helped with the pigmentation. So I'll go on and link my video where I've repressed a bronzer, but you use the same basic concept for an eyeshadow. You're using isopropyl alcohol to just kind of reinvigorate your pigments to be bright and fun and just intense as they're supposed to be. And also too, it helps you to use up every last bit of product. So that really helped me. I hope that is another tip for you, but that has been key for me with Amaretto, because I've really struggled with that shade for the past couple of months because I was just so bored and I hated it. Once I repressed it, it's really been much more of a joy for me to use. It's a color that I've panned over and over and over again now at this point, but now that it has the intense pigmentation that I appreciate, it's not such a chore to use, so I hope that that helps. All right, then going into our crease area, again, this is not a necessary step. You don't have to do this. I just wanted a little bit more of a subtle glow behind the shades. So what I've done is I've gone through with my LORAC Mega Pro palette with the shade Lilac, and I'm dusting this into my transition area to kind of minimize the hood of my eyes. You're not going to get a lot of pigmentation with this shade, especially putting it on top of Strawberry Bonbon, but once the eye look is together and you see that little bit of lilac, it does make a really pretty just effect across the eye, as you can see. If you don't have the LORAC Mega Pro palette, another one I'm instantly thinking of is the Too Faced Sugar Pop palette, the shade Strawberry Ice. And what I would do is I would take that shade on a fluffy eyeshadow brush, knock off that excess glitter by tapping your brush firmly against your vanity or your sink or your counter, wherever you're getting ready, and then dust it into your transition area. You're going to get a similar effect. Or if you have another matte lilac shade from one of your favorite brands, go for it. This is an awesome way to get some use out of it. So whatever your preferred method, or if you don't want the lilac shade, feel free to just go on and go through with the next step. And then, because I am a glasses wearer and I have hooded eyes, I'm following through with just a basic white eyeliner. This one's from NYX. I'm popping it in my inner corners to make my highlight a little bit more bright, and also to make my eyes look a little bit more balanced once I put my glasses on, because otherwise the shadows make them look very, very small when I have a lot of dark concentrated to the outer thirds of my eyes. So it just kind of helps me out a little bit. Now, in terms of highlighting shades, I currently do not have Champagne Truffle, so I am going through with this kind of glowy pink shade from Bare Minerals. But if I were still using Champagne Truffle, that is what I would go for to highlight my eyes. I would stamp that over that white eyeliner and dust it onto my brow bone. This Bare Minerals shade behaves quite similarly. So if you want pretty much the same effect, if you don't like the glitter, what I would do with Champagne Truffle is dust it a couple of times into the palette, knock off that excess glitter, and apply it to your eyes to get a really pretty baby pink shade to really give your look a subtle glow. Like I said, just really, really pretty, feminine, soft, and fun. So, and Champagne Truffle works beautifully, beautifully on the eyes. And that's why I was like so excited when I found that Bare Mineral shade as I shot my stash, because I was like, yes, I can still enjoy the glow and prettiness of that shadow and keep moving through my collection. And then as we go into our crease area, I'm taking this Revlon crease brush, go through with whatever your favorite crease brush is, and take Cherry Cordial. I go on and kind of knock off the excess, again, to kick off that little bit of shimmer that's in that shadow, and I stamp it into the outer third of my eye and then blend it up into my crease area. This is a shadow that sometimes I will decide to build up a little more if I'm going out at night, or I'll wear it a little bit more sheer during the day. I decided to go on and build it up a little bit today so that you can see it really, really well on camera, but you can follow through and put as much or as little as you prefer. So just make sure that the basic like burgundy concentration's on the outer third, and then blend it up into your eye. Don't worry if it's not perfectly blended, because we're gonna go back in just a second with a smidge of blush to really kind of anchor everything down together. And then I'm following through with a basic black eyeliner. I'm just going through with my IT Cosmetics gel liner. I wanted to kind of go back in and use a different liner today from that Maybelline pencil that I've been using. So I'm just using this IT Cosmetics Liner Love Waterproof Anti-Aging Cream Eyeliner in black. Follow through with your favorite black eyeliner. And then I'm going through to set it with black from my LORAC Pro 2 palette. That's a tip. Again, it's not necessarily necessary, but since I have hooded eyes, it's an automatic step in my routine that I set my liner to make sure that I don't have any traveling going up into my crease area throughout the day. And then when we get to our lower lash line, what I'm doing, I altered just a little bit from my norm because usually I use a nude pencil in my lower waterline. But with this look, since I really kind of want to keep with the berry tones, I have this Pixie Extra Eye Bright Liner. It's in a really pretty baby pink shade. Like this, I'll show you. It does a little bit more than just a nude pencil to really give you that brightening eye effect. So if you want to use a Pixie pencil, that's perfect. Or Benefit also makes a really brightening pencil. NYX, I think, has one. Don't quote me on that because I'm not for sure on it. And then of course, I want to say MAC. Oh, I can't remember what it used to be called. I know that they have one as well, but you want to go with a really like pretty ballet pink eyeliner if you're wanting something a little bit more brightening than just a nude in your waterline. And then on my lower lash line, I'm following through. I have this in my stash. This is another eyeliner from Clinique. This is in the shade 07 or Intense Ivy. I really want to maximize my use out of Gilded Ganache. And so since this eyeliner is pretty darn close to the shade that Gilded Ganache comes off, I decided to just line my lower lash line with it to make sure that it stays throughout the day. And then I'm taking a small eyeliner brush and setting it with Gilded Ganache. I am really loving that shade. And this combination together with the cranberries is really just beautiful to, you know, if you have brown eyes, this is perfect to really bring out the tones of your eyes. If you have hazel eyes, if you have blue eyes, again, putting those burgundies and the rich green together, and it's still festive, kind of Christmassy looking without being like Christmas tree makeup. Does that make sense at all? Like, I don't know. I just thought like Gilded Ganache, like Christmas trees, you kind of have the greenish gold, like it works, just go with it. So, all right, and then after I'm done with my eyes, I'm going to step away from them temporarily. I do mascara at the end of my makeup, but what I'm doing is I'm multitasking some of my other makeup. So I'm going through with my LORAC Pro 2 palette, and I'm taking a fluffy kind of a contour brush. This one happens to be from I don't remember, not Crown Brushes. They came from Walmart. I know you know what I'm talking about. The brightly colored brushes. It doesn't say, it just says Royal and Langnickel, and I know that that's not Moda brushes. That's what they are. So I got this from Walmart, and then basically what I'm doing is I'm tapping it into cool gray, and I'm going through on the contours of my face. This brush really helps to hollow it out, or if you have the Real Techniques contour brush, basically the same thing, kind of a similar dome-shaped brush. I'm going through with the hollows of my face, so my cheekbones, my temples, the sides of my nose. You want to be pretty careful with the shadow because it does look really kind of ashy dirty if you're a little too heavy-handed with it. So one of the tips I suggest to multitask it for contouring is to make sure you knock off that excess before you gently apply that color to your face. But it does really make a lovely contour because I know for me on my skin tone, cool gray looks kind of, you know what I mean? But as a contour, it actually works quite well because it's subtle enough, but it's not like too warm where it's orangey, but it's not too cool tone where it's like dirty unless you're really heavy-handed with it. Then it can get carried away really quickly. So it's giving me another way to kind of get through some more eyeshadow and do it in a way that I find pleasing for me as I do my makeup. So after I go through and finish the contour areas, I am basically blending that contour area out to where it's going to be seamless. I'm using the NARS Laguna bronzer in the matte formula, and I'm just taking this on a fluffier powder brush, and I'm dusting it again in kind of that 3 shape to get the perimeters of my face, and it also helps blend out if I went a little too heavy with that cool gray shade. So follow through with your favorite bronzer, you are good to go. And then when it comes to blush, I am going through with my Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in the shade Blushing Bride. Any berry tones are going to be lovely from your collection. This is what I happen to be working with for the month of December. And then the other tip that I'm doing is I'm going through very lightly with our eye look since it's so berry looking. I'm taking a fluffy eyeshadow brush. This happens to be from Sonia Kashuk, or you can go through with a concealer brush. Take a little bit of your blush and dust it very lightly on top of your crease area into your highlighting area to just give it a very warm blend and anchor down your eye look to your cheeks and then to that berry that we're going to put on our lips in just a minute. And then for highlighting, I'm going through and multitasking once again. If I were using the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, Champagne Truffle. It makes a lovely highlight all over the cheekbones and the face. If it looks a little too stark for you, go with a sheer application. Again, knock off that excess off your brush so that you have the opportunity to build it up instead of going, you know, full force from the get-go. That will help make it a little bit easier to blend out on your skin tone. But I'm going through on the tops of my cheekbones, my chin area, my Cupid's bow, down the center of my nose. I don't really like highlighting the tip of my nose, but I like that little bit of glow to the center point of my face, and then right here in my the middle of my forehead area. So it's really, really beautiful. And then you also have the opportunity, if you want to touch up your highlight a little bit more, if you're wearing glasses like I do, you can go on and gently kind of touch your brow bone up and then make your inner corner a little bit stronger to make your eyes look a little bit more glowy under your glasses. And then when it comes to lips, super, super easy. For this look, I'm wearing MAC's lip liner in the shade Nightingale, and then also the Bite Beauty Mousse Bouche lipstick in the shade Beetroot. But like I said, there are other options like I pulled out from my collection. If you're wanting duplicate versions, I pulled out the e.l.f. Matte Lip Crayon in Berry Sorbet, the e.l.f. Matte Lip Crayon in Mulberry Maven. I've also got this Revlon lipstick in the shade Bombshell Red, or if you have MAC's Rebel, if you want an exact dupe to this. It's very, very easy. Or you can go with a really deep vampy lip, like if you wanted to wear MAC's Diva or MAC's Sin, you can also go in that direction. Or if you want to go with a nude, something like MAC's Velvet Teddy with MAC lip liner in the shade Whirl is another favorite for me. Or Maybelline's Warm Me Up is another really pretty shade, or MAC's Brave. Those are just things that I'm thinking of right off the top of my head. I don't have Brave in my collection, but I have Warm Me Up, so I'm trying to think of what I have on hand that I would wear. So really, really easy. Again, this is a look, I feel comfortable wearing this on an everyday basis to go run my errands. You can wear this to work, you can wear it to school, you can wear it for a holiday party if you want something really, really festive, because you can always smoke it out even more. You can put on a pair of false lashes and really make it glam and nighttime appropriate. So I hope that you have as much fun with this look as I have. It's certainly helping me to get through the last little bit of this chocolate bar palette, so I'm still keeping my fingers crossed. In fact, make sure you're subscribed, because in the next couple of days I will be posting where I currently am with the chocolate bar, and then I'm going to go on and do hopefully one last update at the end of 2017, but if not, I'll probably only need one more update sometime in January if there's a little bit of shadow left. So exciting news to share coming up. So take care. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to catching up with you very, very soon. See you later.